heard across Canada.
The car sends it around. Marner waiting. Connor McDavid scores! Connor McDavid for Canada!
I think I smile bigger every time. Connor McDavid scored that shot in overtime, ending a heart-stopping game and making Canada the champions of the Four Nations tournament, and so much more. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth was there for it last night. He's in Boston again this morning. First of all, Paul, what's the mood like in Boston this morning?
Well, it's quiet compared to yesterday, I can tell you that. This time yesterday, well, early in the morning into the afternoon, right up to the game time, the crowd in downtown Boston started to gather demonstrably in this area. So that's Boston Garden behind me there. So in this area here was filled with thousands of fans, and they were screaming USA, USA, doing their thing. And that's cool. It was actually kind of fun to be in the middle of it. And then, you know, if you could fast forward, like they do in a movie in a time warp, and it's 3 hours later after the game, it was a very quiet street. They were quiet fans. They were leaving the rink. And look, that's what sports is. It was a lot of fun. But I will say this. If you like crowds and action and sports connected to patriotism and fans wearing their jerseys and singing and shouting, then you should have been in Boston last night, because this joint was jumping. It was a really good time. Canada won, which makes our story better, but a real fun environment and a real history-making moment.
You know, there was a lot made about how this was more than just a game. It was interesting listening to John Cooper. You know, I was watching his press conference this morning where he was saying, I hope Canada's proud, because these boys felt that, and they took it on the ice, which was different than the approach that they'd been sort of feeding the media all week long about, you know, this is just about the game, we're leaving politics out of it. That win felt like more than just a hockey game win.
Absolutely. They were kind of dropping the hammer on a social statement. And I mean, you know, sports, politics, culture, sometimes they all melt together. Look, we are in the middle of it. We interviewed Canadian fans yesterday who told us they were deeply offended and hurt. One person said, used the word hurt by some of the things the U.S. president has said about our country. And they wanted their team, Team Canada, to have a victory in that game, to make a statement to sort of ease their feelings. I get that. We had fans coming up to us yesterday, American fans, telling us that we're going to be the 51st state. We had American fans walking by with disparaging things written about Canada on their T-shirts. So we saw all that. I would like to think those people are the vocal minority, because a lot of the people we spoke to down here were lovely to talk to. But it was out there. And so if we feel it, the players feel it, the coaches feel it, the fans feel it, it added a layer to it, and it added a statement to that victory. And man, what a statement it was, because it was a fun post-game vibe for these Canadian fans on these streets of Boston last night.
Yeah, and I understand some of them had traveled great distances just to be there. Hey, listen, let's talk about the game for just a moment. What gave Canada the edge in the final moments of that game? It was tense.
I just think from an offensive talent, top-end offensive talent standpoint, I think they're better built for a moment like that. The Americans are very good. They're strong in nets. They get a great, robust defense, and they have world-class talent, and they're this close to being probably just as good as Canada, and maybe just as good on some nights. But when you have Connor McDavid and Mitch Marner and Sidney Crosby and Nathan MacKinnon, those kind of world-class players, it's a name dropper's paradise of elite world-class talent on the ice at the same time. I bet on that lineup to score 3 or 4 goals to win, and in a game like that, you needed 3 or 4 goals to win. They scored 3, and they won, and it's because of their talent and their skill and their speed. And it was McDavid, arguably the best player in the NHL, who does it for Canada, and the aforementioned MacKinnon was the MVP of the tournament.
Truly best on best, made even better because, well, we won. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth in Boston this morning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.